wheels in the open road. I got the throttle wide open, feet on my brakes. Got 100 horses between my legs. No destination, no end in sight. Just me in the open road, riding into the moonlight. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Life in the fast lane, it's easy to maintain. Just twist the throttle on back and feel no pain. From the open highways, backwoods of the country, where live free or die is the only way. On my two wheels, all that I need is white lines and gasoline. Never look back, never look back. 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 White lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. Two wheels in the open road, life and death in my own hands. I am my own justice, I am my own man. I never look behind through all that I have seen. 'Cause all I need is white lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. White lines and gasoline. We believe in the American way, and we built this country called the USA, and we fly our flag 'cause we're proud and free, we're Americans. Red, white, and blue is our way of life. We never back down from a challenge or a fight. Nature provides, God gives the rights, we're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. We fish the waters and we hunt the lands. We forge the steel with our own two hands. With what we've got, we do the best we can. We're Americans. From the snowy passes to the desert sun, dogs and the horses and the trucks and the guns, mothers and daughters and fathers and sons. We're Americans. We make up America, this amazing America. We're an amazing America.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with
Freedom Train.
I'm back.
Hey, Robert.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you high atop Watkins Glen International for the trailer.
That's right, Trailer Trash Lot 420.
just learned the sponsor a few moments ago. Trailer Trash Lot 420 240K. Live here for the Domino's TYJ Premier Xfinity Series. Here on O Pro Broadcasting, 30 cars have showed up tonight to battle the left and right turns. A rare occurrence here on the Domino's circuit, but this field looks pretty tight. 29 cars within about 5 seconds, which around a road course of 1 minute and 10 seconds. Not too bad of a spread between this 30-car field. Again, I'm Gabriel Wood. Joined with me is Robert McFarland, high atop the Speedway. Robert, good to be back in the booth here after a couple of weeks off. Qualifying underway here. About 4 minutes these drivers have to get their qualifying done. 2 laps on the Speedway. Out on there right now is Cody Griffin in the number 48 machine. Cody practiced in that second spot in a 109.342. But faster than him was the only driver to get into the 1 minute 8 second bracket. That is Giovanni Bramante, the star of the Xfinity Series so far this season, with a 1 minute 8 second .875. And he did that in the early laps of practice. Right now he's taking it slow around through the carousel as he exited the bus stop, and now back down to the short chute here. Going to take you on board a lap with Giovanni Bramante as he goes around the Speedway in that number 89 Ford Toyota. It's a little bit weird of a combination on that number 89 machine.
Yeah, thanks, Gabe. We do have a couple of other folks in the booth. You may have covered this already, but we're going to welcome Ken Rangers and his wonderful wife, Michelle. They're going to help out with some details, some track facts on what's going on here. Michelle, I think you have the race weather for tonight.
I do, Robert. It is 68 degrees at Watkins Glen tonight. And clear.
Thank you so much, Michelle. And Tim, I think we're going to pull up the standings here for the Xfinity Series. This is the Domino's TYJ Racing Premier Xfinity Series. Tim, I think you have those standings. If you go over them, that'd be awesome.
Hey, Robert, thanks for having me tonight. I do appreciate it. We've got, going from the number 10 position, Jeremy Crandall is holding that up with 344 points. We've got James Somke with 347 points in the number 9 position. Number 8, Jeffrey Ford with 348. Curtis Young, 362 in 7th. Judd Danielson in 6th with 363 points. Got Josh Bonwell with 373 in the top 5. Number 4, Donald Stewart with 379. Jack Watts in the 3rd position with 392 points. 398 points with Nick Reynolds in 2nd. And Gary Sexton's in the position 1, 17 points ahead of Nick with 416.
Thank you so much, sir. Tim, go ahead, Gabe.
Well, I'll tell you what, as Giovanni Bramante hits the start-finish line, let's go on with a lap with the young rookie in the Domino's Series out of turn number 1 up to 2nd into 3rd as he hits the bottom of the S's. Now going to be in 3rd, high up on the revs, got to build that speed up into 4th gear. He's going to exit the S's at the top of them, up into 4th, and he's going to pass the DRS zone for the Formula 1 course. But now, look for that braking marker. I usually use that light there on the left side. Down into the bus stop, down to 3rd, down to 2nd. Get that car rotated. Now turn him back toward the carousel. You got to choose when you get back to the gas. Oh, and Giovanni Bramante ends up messing it up at the top of the carousel. Ends up spinning out on his 2nd lap, but he was able to put in a 109.123. But Kyle Kamer in that number 51 machine, he's going on to his 2nd lap, onto his 3rd, and he's got now a 109.073. Kyle Kamer, that driver of the number 51 from Indiana, he's on your provisional pole.
Thank you, Gabe. We have him in the booth right now. Real quick, Kyle, how have you put up such a fast lap, and what are you expecting for this race?
A lot of practice. Just trying to focus on being smooth, hitting my marks, making sure I don't downshift too early and get the wheel hop. Looking forward to a good race. I know that Gio's fast, and a couple other guys are really fast, and I'm excited to get to racing.
That's exciting. I tell you what, we're definitely looking forward to you pulling into victory lane tonight. And if not, a top 3 finish. Good luck, Kyle. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Winding down the final moments of qualifying drivers who have yet to take a time. Donald Stewart, Jeremy Crandall, Gerald Campbell, Andrew Kessler, Gary Weston, all these drivers not taking time, but they were outside the top 10 in practice speeds. This qualifying ends. On the pole is going to be Kyle Kamer in that 51. You just talked to him, and Giovanni Bramante is going to join him on the second row. We're going to give these drivers just a few moments to grid up, and while we're going to do that, let's just one more time, Robert. Not every day we hit the Domino's course with these road courses, with these, Xfinity NASCARs. In my opinion, these Xfinity cars actually handle the best on the road course, so it should be a fun race. And now we've got a special thing thrown into this. I want to talk about the cautions.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, we are watching, fans, the Trailer Trash Lot 420 240. That's in kilometers. We got 60 laps here tonight. Gabe, like you just said, we have 3 stages. The end of lap 15, the end of lap 30, and the last stage will be about 30 laps minus caution flags. So these guys are going to have to pull out some serious strategy to win this race. And you can find Trailer Trash Lot 420 music. It's some of the best rock music you're ever going to find on your local rock radio station, or iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, and Walmart.com. Make sure you search Trailer Trash Lot 420. Gabe, if you'll go through the starting lineup, I'll be right back.
All right, I've already talked about Kyle Kamer and Giovanni Bramante on the front row. William E. Moore is going to take up that third spot on that second row inside. You can't use inside and outside, inside and outside here on these road courses. You got to say left or right because it's inside and outside flipping back and forth as you enter and exit these corners. Cody Griffin, talked about him a minute ago. That Proximity Motor Cars number 48 is going to roll off in that fourth spot. Gary Sexton rounds out your top 5. Shea Parrish in that Serv Pro number 81 is going to roll off in 6. Curtis Young, Jack Watts, and David Wright round out your top 9. And Russ Coe, sponsor of tonight's race, in that 420 is going to roll off in that 10th spot. Ellery Queen in 11th, Mark Jackson in that 12th spot, Eric Stanford in 13th, Josh Bonwell in 14th, and Mark McFadden with a time of 1 minute 11.295. He's going to round out your top 15. Ray Richer in that number 44 machine is going to roll off in 16th. Judd Danielson in 17th. Sean Kalis in 18th. Nick Reynolds, Joe Johnson round out your top 20. And then these final few drivers, these last 2 to qualify, William Davis and Chad Payne, clock in with 1 minute 13s apiece. And now these drivers did not take time in qualifying. Donald Stewart, Curtis Aho, Jeff T. Martin, Andrew Kessler with the Aegis Gang, Gerald Campbell, Jeremy Crandall, Ivan Garcia, and Gary Weston round out your 30-car field.
Yeah, thank you.
As the field gets rolling, Robert, it's going to be 1 lap under pace. They're going to try and take it easy here, but it's going to be as soon as that green flag drops, we're going to be underway.
Yes, sir, Gabe. I appreciate that very much. This is going to be a very exciting race, including how the stages are going to run. Some of these drivers may be the fastest, but it's going to come down to who has the best strategy. And we do have quite a few new viewers. We're going to give all the details on how to win that free large Domino's 3-topping pizza, which you have to make your pick before lap 30. But before we even do that, I want to welcome in all the viewers from 3 special Mustang groups. We've got the 35th anniversary Facebook Mustang group. We've got Lethal Mustang Facebook Mustang group. And we also have members from the Extreme Mustangs used to be Super Mustang Facebook group. Thanks, guys, for joining. This is no joke. What you're seeing is real. It is simulated. You've got drivers in each one of these cars all over the country and 2 or 3 different continents racing tonight at the exact same time. And yes, you are going to have a chance to win a free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. So, Judd, I'm excited. I'm happy to have some new guys watching, some new ladies watching. This is going to be awesome.
I'll tell you what, it's a warm welcome to all those groups because your top 3 is locked out by Ford Mustangs. Giovanni Bramante still has some Toyota logos on it, but that number 89 sporting that prancing horse. They're going to head down the short chute for one more time, and they're going to come through these final 2 corners, and they're going to come to the green flag, the first of 60 laps here tonight. Tim Ringers is in the booth for the moment. He's actually left now. I was going to welcome him in as well. But Tim Ringers, thank you for joining us here tonight. And here they come off the final corner. Porsche 911 GT3 pace car is going to pull down the pit road and get to the safety. Green flag is out, and they rush down to turn number 1, up to the gearbox. Here they come. The 51 of Cal Kamer gets a great start. So does William E. Moore, down to 3rd, down to 2nd. Get turned in for that first corner. Everybody in the top 10 gets through pretty clean. Looks like we got a little bit of contact between Gary Sexton and Cody Griffin, but they end up making it through. Giovanni Bramante runs wide through the top of the S's, or excuse me, the bottom of the S's. He's going to lose 2nd, and now down to 3rd. But Cal Kamer shot out of a cannon, and now he's going to have to deal with William E. Moore as they come to the bus stop.
Yeah, thank you so much, Gav. I tell you what, this is going down into the bus stop here. These guys are going single file for the most part, and I tell you what, this track is going to wear the tires out fast. These drivers know they have a caution, stage 1, lap 15. So I don't know if they're saving Gabe or if they're driving as hard as they can.
Well, the one thing about these road courses, Robert, you have to pick and choose your moves because not every corner is a passing corner. This right here is a passing zone. You got a long straightaway and you can outbrake somebody. Here, this is a setup zone. You get to the gas early and get the run off the corner. And if we might see an example of this, Cody Griffin coming down the front straightaway. Kyle Kamer is going to lead lap number 1. Look for that 48 to pull out here at the end of the straightaway. He doesn't, but you're going to see a lot of moves like that. Pulling out at the end of the straightaway in turn number 1. Try and outbrake the car to the outside and get the position. So we got one car right wide. It's the 81 of Shane Parrish. He's going to pull off at turn 1 and get out.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's exactly what you're going to be able to do. In all these corners, Gabe, you have to educate me on this, and the fans. We do have a lot of new fans tonight. Are there 8 or 9 corners on this road course here at Watkins Glen in New York?
It's like 8 corners here in Watkins Glen in this Cup circuit. You also have the boot here that we don't run. We're actually just passing the entrance of it. Kyle Kamer is. This is on lap number 2, down the short chute, back into those final 2 corners, 7 and 8. He's going to break at the 400-meter board and get turned in. We're going to go back through the field as these drivers. Actually, look at William E. Moore. He's to the back bumper now. He's going to let off early and get back to the gas earlier. Can he get a run going into turn number 1? He's caught him by just about 2/10 in that one lap. So William E. Moore, he's got a good car here in the short run. They go into turn number 1, still going to get that car turned. It looks like the 51 at Kamer can get it rotated a little bit easier than that 58 can.
I tell you what, going into turn 1 there, that is a great passing zone if you get on the inside there, Gabe. A lot of passes will be made there, especially late in the race or late in the stage. And I'm thinking these guys are already planning out their strategy for the end of the race, at least the end of the first stage, which will be completion of lap 15.
It's like we got a battle around Russ Coe's series, the sponsor in that Trailer Trash 420, number 420. Looks like he just got past the 67 Monster Energy Mustang of Mark McFadden. Now McFadden's under fire from the blue Camaro of Ray Richard at 44 is to the back bumper. Oh, and the 67 gets loose to the bus stop. He gathers it up. That's going to allow Ray Richard to get to his back bumper. Josh Bondwell, our perennial second place finisher during this series, finally broke through for his win a couple months ago, but he's still mired back just inside the top 15. He goes to the outside of Ray Richard. Now that 44 is going to drag race him. This is going to be the last of the late breakers. Ray Richard with a diving move to the inside. He breaks late and gets that position back from Bonnewell.
Yes, sir, Gav. I tell you what, all these guys are going to have practice patience going into every single one of these corners. That's exactly how you're going to make a pass and or save your equipment. You got to have all 4 fenders on these cars. There's not a lot of aerodynamic effect on this road course, Gabe, as you well know, but you definitely do not want to have anything bending on the radiator causing your car to overheat. So being patient and letting a guy get through a corner early in this race is very, very smart.
Well, I'll tell you what, Robert, especially in these road courses, a clean car is a happy car, but it can, a perfect car, it's not exactly needed for a win, as you said. Somebody like Donald Stewart, it looks like he's got a little bit of front-end damage from hitting somebody, but he is still running decent lap times compared to these leaders. He's only about 3 or 4 seconds off, which is about where he was. So it's not really mattering too much, but it's just adapting to the way the car wants to drive. I mean, Martin Truex Jr. a couple weeks ago at Sonoma, his car, the engine started failing, and all of a sudden he started losing a bunch of time. And his crew chief came over a few laps later and said, well, you're the second fastest car on the racetrack. He said, I learned how to drive it. It takes a few laps to learn what the car can do now, and you can get that momentum back, you can get the times back.
I tell you what, Gabe, if we can get a quick cockpit view of the number 48 of Cody Griffin, these fans can get a real live, actual experience of what it takes to go into all of these 9 corners. They're in the bus stop right now, and Cody is going left. He's turned to the right. He's trying to stay as close as he can to Gio Bramante.
Yeah,
but I tell you what,
this bus stop right here, that's a tough decision because you have to wait to get back to the gas, especially with these cars. So it's a balancing act. We're going to pick that lap up back from qualifying. We're going to follow the driver we had before. Down to second. If he can get the car rotated easy back on the gas, you can see it almost step out. It steps out for Bramante. He's going to have an awkward angle going into turn number 8 and coming down to the front straightaway. He's going to keep it gathered through second, through third, and now up to maybe fourth if it's geared right. But some of these drivers won't even switch into third.
and then coming down into the first turn, they're hard on the brakes. They're downshifting usually late so they get the wheel hop. And I tell you what, looks like Cody Griffin in 4th position at number 48 is making up a little bit of time on Giovanni Bramante. And I tell you what, he's got a handful of steering wheel as I'm watching with him on the cockpit. And in front of him, William E. Moore in that number 58 is doing everything he can to catch up to the leader here, Kyle Cameron, who so far is running a perfect race as he goes to the bus stop.
5 laps led out of 5 completed for that 51 machine of Kyle Kamer. He's still up front. Want to go to the field just a little bit, see if we can see any battles through the rear of the field. Looks like Josh Bonwell in that number 56 machine. He's still trying to get past Ray Richard, who defended that position. Looks like Bonwell actually braking very early through the bus stop, so he's just being a little bit timid there on the race course. And it looks like we got a battle between Joe Johnson in that NOS Energy 83 and Gary Weston in that K&N Air Filters number 14 Toyota as they go through the bus stop as well, just a little bit behind Josh Bonwell and Ray Richard. Looks like Johnson's actually falling back now from the back bumper of that number 14 machine.
Yes, sir, Gabe. Up front, we do have the 3rd place position of Giovanni Bramante. He's got a mirror full of Cody Griffin in that 48. Cody's going to try to get a run on him here on the back stretch. I think that's what they call it. Gio is not going to give up any room at all. And Cody is trying to do everything he can to get around him here. Maybe he can make it happen in the bus stop. He does get right up to the bumper, but he's not touching him. He's at the Camaro against the Ford Mustang. It's going to be interesting to see how they get through the next few corners. And Gabe, I do want to give the fans who are watching, thank you so much, the details on how to win that free large 3-topping Domino's pizza. It's real simple, fans. All you have to do is text 919-883-7497. Or if you're watching in the live chat, you've got to lap 30. You got about 23, 22 laps to go. You can say, I picked this driver to win this race. Only pick one driver. We've had people in the past pick 2, 3 different drivers, go back to the first driver. That does not count. You're disqualified. Take your time. Pick one driver before lap 30. The first person to actually predict the winner of this race will win the free large Domino's 3-topping pizza. Carry out only. Last night we had a winner. It was Erica. I got her right here on my phone. Erica Estep. It's her second time to win. She watches every single one of our Domino's TYJ Racing races, and she's getting her second free Domino's pizza this weekend. Fans, you can get one also if you're the one who picks the winner accurately before lap 30.
Well, a little bit of trouble on the racetrack with the 35 of Gerald Campbell. He spun it coming off the second up to last corner. Got a little bit of front end damage now on the left corner of that Kellogg's number 35 machine as he came out. He ended up hitting the guardrail, and it seems to slow him down just a little bit. Jeremy Crandall, that 73, has been allowed to catch him, but back up front, that battle still raging now. It's a 4-way battle for the lead. They're strung out there in front of the field, 7 seconds in front of Gary Sexton. This is an amazing battle for this lead as we're nearing halfway, or we are at halfway in this segment. They're actually going to approach some lap cars here. Equal distance between your top 4. William E. Moore has actually fallen into the clutches of Giovanni Bramante. Gio's got to wait to make his move, and this is where Gio really is going to shine, because I don't know if anybody recognizes his name, but he was an amazing karter before moving to the late model division in real life, so he knows how to get it done on the lefts and rights.
That is absolutely true. He's looking to the inside right now. He's going to back in right behind William E. Moore in that number 58. He's going to follow him. That's going to let the 48 of Cody Griffin get right to his bumper, and they are catching lap traffic like you just said. It does look like the 072 of Ivan Garcia is letting these guys get around his Ford Mustang, but that gives the 51 a little bit more breathing room in front of the second place driver. So Kyle Cameron gets a little bit more breathing room. But I tell you what, these guys are going to catch him probably before this segment is over. And I tell you what, Gabe and fans, what these guys do after segment 1 is a toss-up. They can actually technically go through the whole second stage before they pit. But I'm sure, Gabe, these guys are going to want brand new, fresh rubber as they're passing the 9 of, looks like, our good friend Chad Payne in that Coors Light machine.
The 48's to the back bumper of Gio. He's going to go to the inside at the bottom of the S's. But Gio's going to shut the door as they turn right, then back to the left. And that's going to cost Gio a lot of time. He almost had William E. Moore in that 58 pass. But now he's going to have to deal with the 48 of Cody Griffin. Meanwhile, up front, the 51, he's catching lap traffic. That's Curtis Aho in that 38 Lily Diabetes Ford Mustang. And it looks like 78 of Donald Stewart. So those drivers racing for the final position on the lead lap. And you got to remember, these guys are fighting for the lucky dog because we're going to get a caution and they're going to get a wave around.
That's absolutely correct. So these guys just want to keep the fingers on the car. They want to stay on the racing surface. If you're on the grass, you're losing time here at Watkins Glen International Speedway here in New York. And that's exactly what these guys need to do, is stay as well as they can. As Curtis Aho gets into the grass, he does save it.
Cody Griffin still in that 48 machine battling Giovanni Bramante as they go into the first corner. Getting a little bit closer. Gio locking up the brakes, a little bit of wheel hop going into 1, but he ends up keeping it going straight. He's going to lose a little bit of momentum. Same thing that happened last time. It looks like Gio's only fault really is turn number 1, that 90-degree corner. It's ended up faulting that young kid in the 89 machine. They go up to the top of the S's now. Kyle Kamer getting around lap traffic. He gets around Aho. He's going to have to wait to get around Stewart as they go into the bus stop. And this is going to really help him because now Curtis Aho is blocking, or is really blocking the path of William E. Moore. He has nowhere to go. And that's going to back up William E. Moore to the front bumper of Giovanni Bramante and Cody Griffin. Here comes Griffin to the inside. He's going to switch back to the left. Here they go down the short chute, puts the bumper to him. Here comes Giovanni Bramante, brakes early, no pass attempted.
I tell you what, this is an exciting race for the lead here as we get close to the end of the first stage. And these guys are putting on a serious show in their Ford Mustang, Chevrolet Camaros. This is incredible. As far as their Toyota Camrys, this is awesome.
Here comes Giovanni Bramante, pass for second as they go into turn number 1. William E. Moore can just do nothing but watch. And now Cody Griffin to the inside as they get around lap traffic. And it's going to be a tight battle as they go up to the S's here. Cody Griffin's going to get that 3rd spot, so move Cody Griffin into that final podium position. William E. Moore now down to 4th, and Giovanni Bramante, who has really shown to be one of the faster cars in this top 4, he's now open to chase down Kyle Kamer, who's already in the bus stop, so he's got a little bit of work to do, but he's going to have that caution to even get close to Kyle Kamer in the next 3 laps.
Yes, sir, Gabe, riding on board with the 58 Mustang GT of William E. Moore. He is in that Wounded Warriors Project Fly Fight Win Ford Mustang GT. He has fallen back to the 2nd position, looks like maybe 3rd by now. But he's definitely got a 4th spot. But he has a strong horse in this race. And I'm sure he's going to pull something out of the envelope on the first pit stop, if not the 2nd pit stop, to make his way up to the front. I would not rule out William E. Moore in that 58 Wounded Warriors Mustang GT to get the win, at least the top 3.
3 laps to go here in this segment. Giovanni Bramante has now time, actually. Looks like he's catching that 51 of Kyle Kamer here as they go to the bottom of the S's, up, down to the left, and now up to the top of the S's, now down to the short chute.
Yes, sir, Gav. I just noticed the 58 of William E. Moore. He got loose coming out of turn 1. He spun it all the way around. 0 contact, but it looks like he lost a little bit of time there on the track. Plus, he wore out the rear tires as he spun that car around. He's definitely going to have to get 4 brand new Green Doritos on this pit stop coming up here at lap 15.
You know, it's amazing how quick the top 4 are. William E. Moore spun it, and was stopped on the racetrack. Did not lose a spot. He's still in that 4th spot, so no worse for wear. He's going to have a pit stop here in the next few laps. And Giovanni Bramante, look at this up front, that number 89, the young kid, to the back bumper of Kyle Kamer here into turn number 7, into turn number 8. A little bit of damage to the back bumper of Kyle Kamer. He's going to the outside on the final corner, and Kyle Kamer, he's coming to the pits.
Yes, sir, Gabe. Looks like Kyle Cameron.
Played.
Yeah, a little bit of strategy. Kyle's coming to the pit road. We got some other drivers taking a pit early. That's going to mix it up. We're going to try to get the jump on the other drivers, making the pit stop at the end of segment 1 in 2 laps.
Kyle Kamer coming down to his pit stall. Let's cover it. See what he takes. Does he take fuel? Does he take gas? Make sure he doesn't overrun his pit stall here. He's going to get in. Left side's going up first here at Watkins Glen. It's a backwards pit stop, but still, 4 tires all around for that number 51. He's actually going to get passed by the 15 in the pits, and Cody Griffin almost gets him. It's going to be a fight coming out of pit road. They're too wide on the exit of pit road. Got to watch that commitment line. Watch for any penalties.
I think, yes, sir, when you come off pit road, you got to stay below that dotted yellow line so you don't get a coming off pit road. Looks like Gary Sexton's coming off pit road right now, as well as the 94 Curtis Young. He gets a little bit of a trade paint with the 56 of Josh Bonwell. Josh is in the 12th position. Looks like Curtis is back to 6th. I think there's no harm, no foul, just a little bit of a trade paints there.
And can we say, finally, a new paint scheme on that number 94?
Yeah, I tell you what, the 94 Curtis Young, yes, sir, it is a beautiful paint job here. It is the Go Fast energy drink, but he's got some new colors, and it is beautiful.
That thing's becoming the Barney Mobile. That's what it is now.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, we got 1 lap to go before the leader gets to the start-finish line.
Yep, he's on his last lap now. He's going to be down the back straightaway into the bus stop. Let's follow Giovanni Bramante as he cruises to a Stage 1 victory through the bus stop. One final time in this stage. Remember, we're going to go to a quick commercial break. As soon we're going to get you your running order, then going to go to commercial at the end of this segment. Giovanni Bramante through the carousel. 8 seconds behind is William E. Moore in that number 58 machine. So nothing to worry about. Down the short chute into the final 2 corners. One more time. Giovanni Bramante coming out of turn number 7. Swings out wide. Gets to turn number 8. Coming off of turn number 8 for lap number 15, Giovanni Bramante is going to take stage 1.
All right, man. Caution is out.
Yes, sir,
Caution is
Gabe.
out.
This has been an exciting first segment. Looks like we have Gio Bramante in first. William E. Moore, even with that spin, is in second position. Ellery Queen moved himself up from 11th to 3rd. Eric Stanford, 13th to 4th. Cody Griffin started 4th, back to 5th. Another big mover, Ray Richards, 16th, up to 7th. And fans, we're going to take our first of only 2 commercial breaks. You are watching the Trailer Trash Lot 420 240 here live on All-Pro Broadcasting. Fans, make sure you click the subscribe button, and we will give you more details on how you want that free large Domino's pizza. Right when we come back, fans, we'll be back in 1 or 2 minutes.
Living in a trailer park on the outskirts of town. Into this sweet young thing and we started.
When you're ready,
ServPro, how can we help?
help gets there faster. The cleanup specialists at 1-800-SERVPRO and ServPro.com. Helping make fire and water damage like it never even happened.
Hey, this is Garrett Smithley, driving the number 0 JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.
Back here live, Watkins Glen International under caution here at the end of segment 1, getting ready to go to segment 2 for 10 more laps of green flag racing. Giovanni Bramante takes the victory in segment 2, or segment 1 I should say, of the trailer trash lot 420 240K here at Watkins Glen for the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series here on All Pro Broadcasting. Now, tell you what, let's talk to the young kid in that number 89 machine, Giovanni Bramante. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, you walked away with a Stage 1 victory after it seemed like you were just going to be content riding second, and then you were gifted the stage win here. We're going to come to green this time by, but you were gifted that stage win by Cal Kamer. Were you really surprised that he pitted?
Not really. I didn't really hear him over the mic, and Connor rear-ended him. So, yeah, we're working on pit strategies and all that, so we'll be really good.
Now, do you think your karting experience helps you here on the road courses compared to these guys?
Yeah, somewhat. Well, this is a NASCAR, it's not a go-kart, so I have some experience.
I bet you wish it handles like a go-kart.
Yes, sir.
All right, Gio. Well, you bring that. Actually, I gotta ask you one question. How did the Ford Mustang Toyota come about?
It's just better here, and I like the Ford.
All right.
I'm
Fair
running
enough.
a Toyota paint scheme on this, so
Yeah.
I'm both.
Well, I mean, you picked the right week because we got a bunch of Ford Mustang fans watching, so you picked the right week to do it. All right, Gio. Well, good luck here in this segment. We're coming to green.
Thank you.
It's Giovanni Bramante in that number 89 machine with Aegis Motorsports. He's got a teammate in this field, the number 98 of Andy Kessler, but he's also racing out of the Rip and Eagle Racing Stables. So he's got a couple of alliances here on the racetrack, a couple of teammates technically, like Eric Stanford, William E. Moore, who he's fought all race, and Sean Kalis in the number 45 machine. But we're going to come to the green here, Robert. The 89 is our leader. Cody Griffin in second, Cal Kamer in third, Gary Sexton, Curtis Young, Jack Watts, David Wright, Mark Jackson, Ellery Queen, and Eric Stanford round out your top 10. They're going to come off the final corner. Pace car lights are out. So we're going to get ready to go racing for 10 laps in this second segment.
Yes, sir, Gabe. This is true to be exciting. The pace car pulls in,
Green flag,
and Gio
green
gets
flag.
a good jump. Cody Griffin, that number 48, is trying to get a good jump on the outside, but it looks like Gio Bramante will lead them down into turn 1 as Gary Sexton takes a look on the inside of the 51 of Kyle Kamer. Kyle gives him plenty of room, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. Giovanni Bramante, Cody Griffith, and it looks like Gary Sexton has moved up smartly here in the beginning of the second stage, Gabe.
Sexton through the block there going into turn number 1 and ends up getting that podium position for the time being if he can hang on to it. Want to talk about biggest movers so far? And it's kind of hard to move up here on the road courses, but Jeremy Crandall's doing so. He started in 28th without a qualifying time. Now running inside the top 15 and 14th, so he's doing a good job here in the early goings. Cody Griffin now to the back bumper of Giovanni Bramante down the short chute out of the carousel. Can he get to him? That youngster in the 89 machine looking for a win. He's got to go through that number 48 machine to do it. Cody Griffin to the back bumper. Can't get it done this lap, so Giovanni Bramante is going to lead lap number 20.
Yes, sir, Gabe. These guys are laying it all out on the line here. Like you said, this is going to be a short stage here. Probably a good 10 laps before they get to lap 30 in the stage number 2. And it's going to be interesting to see which guys are going to lay back here and try to save some of their fuel, save some of their tire strategy. So when we do have the final restart after stage 2, which guys can be up front? I tell you what, Gabe, if I were one of these drivers, I would stay up front, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, that's really the good part about the shortened segment. The guys who didn't pit, like Giovanni Bramante, have time. I mean, Giovanni Bramante was already up front, so he had an easy choice to make. But a couple of these guys who stayed out, they'll be able to find out what their cars can do. Want to look through the field? That battle up front starting to even out. Looks like we got a battle between the 420 of Russ Coe and Jeremy Crandall in that number 73 machine as they exit the bus stop here, just inside the top 15 there into the carousel. Jeremy Crandall in that old Milwaukee number 73 trying to get that 420 machine. He almost had him in the entrance to the bus stop, but he ended up not late braking ended up giving him back that position. Looks like we got a battle between Joe Johnson and the 81. Shane Parrish there as he late breaks into turn number 7. Excuse me, it's kind of hard to keep up with, but the 81 gets that position. And these are drivers who are 1 lap down, so they're fighting really for that lucky dog position because Mark McFadden currently holds it.
You're absolutely right there, Gabe. I tell you right now, we're riding with the number 44 of Ray Richer. A quick Domino's driver profile, if we get a second. Ray is from Connellsville, Pennsylvania. Oh, excuse me. My bad there. Looks like Ray is running in the 11th position. He started up front, actually in 16th, excuse me, at 18th practice time. So Ray has moved up very smart there. He is up to the 11th position, trying to crack the top 10.
Ray Richer actually from Mohawk, New York, a local racer from up there. The Mohawk, New York native in his home race. Closest he'll get to it in here in upstate New York. So the 44 machine just outside the top 10, doing well, climbing up from that 16th position. Up front, Giovanni Bramante, that gap has closed in from almost a full second now. Cody Griffin, he's found some speed in that last lap, and he's caught him now to 0.3 of a second. So it's going to get close here as we edge ever closer to the halfway point in tonight's race.
Yes, sir, Gabe. I apologize to the fans, and more importantly, I apologize to Ray Richer. Yes, he is from Mohawk, New York. Real quick, his sponsors are Pro Auto Service, Amsoil. He has got a lot of years in sim racing, 4 years. He's actually got 12 years in real racing. He won many heat races. He's only won 1 feature, but he's spent plenty of time building and maintaining real world race cars, and he's got a lot of experience spotting for 7 years in many of the local short tracks, as well as ARCA for the last 2 years. So we're very thankful for Ray to be in our series. He's a great talent.
Yeah, it's good to see Ray, another ARCA competitor up here. He's a good spotter. I wish I could make use of him here in one of some of my league races because he can get it done on top of the spotter stand and on the racetrack. Here they come. We got a battle for the lead here, Robert. The 48 to the inside. Cody Griffin in turn number 1, and he's going to get clear. So first time Cody Griffin has led all day. He's got to wait 7 more corners to find out if he can get a lap led. That number 48 machine getting it done there now through the top of the S's. Now down to the back straightaway.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, Cody is a perfect example, fans and Gabe, of a driver who took his time. It took him 23 laps. He worked over the 89 Ford Mustang GT of Giovanni Bramante. He finally made his move going into turn 1. Now he has a lead. I understand Cody has a brand new spotter in the box. Mr. Dorsett, his crew chief, is calling the shots for him. And it looks like right now, Gabe, Mr. Dorsett is definitely making a difference.
Getting it done on top of the spotters. Cody Griffin getting it done here. Now he comes off of turn number 8. He's going to lead his first lap here on lap number 24, coming to 25. Robert and Giovanni Bramante coming to the pit. So he's going to pull the same strategy. And I tell you what, Robert, he might be able to make it to the end.
I tell you what, this is exactly why we're putting stage racing in to our road courses here in 2017 in Domino's TYJ Racing. Fans, you're going to see it tonight. Next Thursday night in the Cup Car. We're also going to see it in our truck races here at Watkins Glen. We got quite a few handful of races here at Watkins Glen in the Truck Series, Premier Xfinity, and Top Shelf Cup. And this is going to make it exciting. Gio is pulling an early strategy. Whether he can make it to the end or not, I do not know, but he does have some fresh tires as he comes off the pit road.
Got to take advantage of those fresh tires, not falling off too much after about 5 or 6 laps. I don't know, it's a questionable decision because these drivers do have to pit one more time if we can make it about 30 laps on to take the fuel. So they're going to have to pit again, but depending if Cody Griffin wants to pit under green or under caution, that's going to be the determining factor. If he's out front right now and he pits right now, I think that's the best decision for him to make sure he can make it on fuel and come to the pits before the end of the stage. Because if he pits while the caution is out, Giovanni Bramante is going to the front.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm not a mind reader. but I just had a thought. Gio might be splitting up the rest of this race in 2 pit stops. He just made his first pit stop. He's going to get every single thing out of those tires in the fuel run. He might come back down pit road during the last stage early so he can have the freshest tires. I tell you what, this could be a very, very, very smart strategy call by the 89 Gio Vermonte fans. You'll just have to wait and see. You do have about 3 laps to get your pick in. Make sure you text if you want to win that free large Domino's 3-topping pizza carryout only. All you have to do, fans, is text 919-883-7497. If you're watching in the live chat, you just say, I picked this driver to win the race. The first person to accurately predict the winner of this race before lap 30, you got about 3.5 laps, fans, will win that free large Domino's pizza. We do welcome a lot of fans watching from Extreme Mustangs, Lethal Mustangs, and yes, the 35th anniversary Mustang Facebook groups. Thanks, guys, for being here. And ladies, this is real, although it is simulated. The free pizzas are real. I guarantee it. Gabe, we've given away about 30 of these so far. Last night, we gave one away to Erica Estep. It's our second free pizza winner. We've had a couple of people win it twice. We've given away over 30 pizzas. And fans, if you get your pick in, you'll be the next free pizza winner.
Got 3 more laps to get that free pizza pick in. While Cody Griffin's still up front. But Robert, we'll have to wait and see what Giovanni Bramante can do on these new tires right now. But it's not worth it. It's really not worth it to pit now and pit again, during the stage where you're not going to get another caution. It doesn't sort out like it does on the ovals. On an oval, it's a softer tire compound. Here on the road course, it's a hard compound, really like a super speedway tire. So they don't wear out, and you can look at the fall off. I mean, Cody Griffin's fallen off, not even a second? He just ran a 109.2, which is faster than what he qualified at. So this tire is not falling off, and Giovanni Bramante has to work his way through the field as well. So it's not going to be worth it to pit now and pit again. But Gio may have done a smart thing, because now, with the tire fall off, if he can make it on fuel, he'll be able to make it to the end and have the lead at the end or the beginning of the next stage.
That could be what he's thinking. We just had Joe Johnson come down pit road, come off of pit road. Joe is running in that 24th position. Joe Johnson is driving that Steel Series IRAPS Toyota Camry, the number 83. Looks like Joe started back. He started back pretty far in the 20th position. So he made the choice, like you just said, Gabe, to come down pit road early before the end of the stage to try to get his pit work done early, out of the way, no issues. So when everybody else comes down pit road, Joe's going to cycle back onto the lead lap more likely, and hopefully he'll give him the chance to get a top 10 finish. I know Joe is not the greatest road racer. He just let Kyle Cameron get around him. But I'm thinking these guys that might not be the best on road courses, that is their best strategy, is to pull a pit move to get ahead of the other guys.
Well, I'm not so sure about Joe Johnson because he was already 1 lap down. He had one hope of getting the wave around, and really now that's gone to William E. Moore in the number 58 machine because he's come to pit road. I don't know. I don't know. It's a really screwed up strategy, but it's going to be fun to watch. And I'm looking through the field here at any battles before we get to the end of the stage. It's looking like Giovanni Bramante having to deal with some traffic. Let's actually look at the number 89 go through the field because he's now catching the tail end of the top 15 now. He's just passed Josh Bodwell for 15th. He's passed Gary Weston. Trying to find out. I think he has passed Gary Weston, but let's see where he cycles out. He's got around Gary Weston and Josh Bodwell, so he's up now into the 14th spot. He's now all track clear ahead of him. But he's already, look at this, Robert. He was at 39 seconds when he came out of the pits. He's now down to 44 seconds behind the leader. So he's losing time trying to get through this field. So that strategy call that you're proposing is not going to work. But the strategy that we thought of initially, I think that's what he's going for.
Yes, sir, Gabe. I tell you what, these guys with these new rules, and I don't want to say new rules, but it's called stage racing, just like NASCAR does every single week. We have put it into our road courses here at Downward Georgia Racing. And some guys are going to figure it out early. Some guys, it might take them 1, 2, maybe 3 races to figure this out. But one thing for sure, we got the 420 of Rusco, who is the host of this race. The Trailer Trash Lot 420 240 He is pitting now, so some of these guys are pitting early right before the end of the stage to hopefully get back up front. Go ahead. Yes, sir. Kyle Campbell's on pit road. Obviously, if you're leading, like the 48 of Cody Griffin, he's going to wait until the caution comes out. But if you're in 5th, 10th, 15th, you get your pit work done early. When the caution comes out on the end of the stage, you stay out. You inherit the lead. And it's going to take these fast drivers like Cody Griffin in the 48 to make his way back around you on the last segment, which will be approximately 26, 27 laps to the finish with 0 cautions.
Cody Griffin coming to the line this time by, it'll be stage 2 victory for Cody Griffin in the number 48.
All right, man. Caution is out. Caution is out.
Yes, sir. I tell you what, we've got a different stage winner for the first 2 stages, Gabe. That's exactly what you want to see here at Domino's TYJ Racing. You want to see these fast guys.
As they come by the line, let's see where everybody's going to sort out. So it looks like so far, it looks like we got Joe Johnson spinning after the caution has come out. So looks like the 83 has actually pulled it off the racetrack. So Cody Griffin, he will be your leader. Coming onto pit road, Gary Sexton, Curtis Young, David Wright, Ray Richard, Judd Danielson in the 6th spot, Kyle Kamer in 7th, Jack Watts, Eric Stanford, and Ellery Queen in 10th. Giovanni Bramante did get to 13th at the end of that stage. He's now up to 9th as a few of these guys I think have come down pit road. But Robert, for one more time, let's go to a commercial and we're going to set up the field for an exciting finish. We'll be right back here from Watkins Glen, New York at the Trailer Trash Lot 420, 240K here at Watkins Glen for the Domino's TYJ Xfinity Series on All Pro Broadcasting.
More than impressive, I have to say. I mean, the track is identical to the real track. I was blown away how realistic it is. Every little bump, every little spray paint, everything is exactly like you were there at the track. It was a great experience. This is a warm-up lap now. Tires to get warmed up. The engine. Breathe a little bit here when you go through that little bump there. And then it's flat pretty much all the way through here, just about. Hard braking. This is the slowest part of the track. And then I've done, I did many races in Formula 3, Formula 2. And then I did the very last race they did there in Group C in 1983 in the 956 Porsche. That's when Beloff got the lap record at the 6:11. I think I was second on the grid with the 6:14 or something. Which was, I mean, those cars were awesome around there, of course, like any car is, that speed. This is the corner of all corners here, the Schwedenkreuz. Flat all the way into it. And then trail brake all the way into the apex here. And then hard at it again to get good speed down the hill here. Mega fast down this hill here. Just jump from one apex to the next. Gotta be super precise here. I mean, it's almost exactly like the real thing. So, I mean, it is certainly realistic enough to get past the very, a lot of the initial hurdles you have when you try to learn to drive a race car, So, I mean, I think it's it's an excellent tool to learn how to race for sure, or learn to drive a car on a racetrack.
You're watching All Pro Broadcasting with Freedom Train.
Opening up its first permanent road course in 1956. Watkins Glen International has hosted a Formula One Grand Prix from 1961 to 1980, IndyCar Series, NASCAR Camping World Truck, Xfinity, and Cup Series, and of course the 6 hours at the Glen for the AMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. But tonight, it plays host to the Domino's TYJ Premier Xfinity Series, and that race, its second segment, has just been won by Cody Griffin. Cody Griffin, do you have a copy in that number 48?
Yes, sir. We got you loud and clear down here.
All right, we got a few moments before the beginning of the final segment, and you're mired back. Where are you? I'm trying to find you here.
Just go
in the
kind of
10th spot, just inside the top 10, actually. So you've gone from the lead to 10th. You got a lot of slower cars in front of you, but you've also got Giovanni Bramante in that the fourth spot. Do you think you can get it done?
Yeah, I think we can get it done. We got a real fast Tracks Tavern Proximity Motorcar Chevrolet here, fixing to take the green, and we're going to try to go get them.
All right, you got Russell Dorsett on the pit box and the spotter stand, so he's got some issues to work out here. But I tell you what, Cody, good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you all the fans. Y'all are awesome. Enjoy the show.
It's Cody Griffin, your Stage 2 winner. We're going to come to the green flag here. It's Gary Sexton out front. He made a move to the top 3 on the last segment, so what can that number 72 Southeast Motorsports 17 can he do? Or excuse me, Cross Continent Racing number 17 as he takes off for the restart. David Bright to the outside of him as they go into turn number 1, but look out for Kyle Kamer and Giovanni Bramante. Kyle Kamer down to the inside. Oh, it's going to get close as they go into turn number 1. Kamer to the inside. He gets that second spot, and here comes Giovanni Bramante also trying to take third. Wow. Giovanni Bramante gets blocked there on the top of the S's, so he's going to maintain in that fourth spot. But here comes Kyle Kamer. He's about 4 car lengths away from Gary Sexton as they go into the bus stop. You're going to have to look because these drivers are on older tires. They pitted with about 4 laps to go in the segment. So we're going to have to watch and see what the faster cars can do. Gary Sexton under fire, and the 51 almost gets into him. He has to lock up the brakes to keep from hitting him.
I tell you what, this is exciting up front. Definitely looks like Gary Sexton is in the lead here. He's got 2 or 3 positions, but his tires are a couple of laps older. It's going to be interesting to see here, Gabe, if he can hold off the 51 first segment winner Kyle Kamer or not?
Trying to lead his first green flag lap. As we've said, the wear on these tires is not as bad. It's really pretty much non-existent. Two drivers running exactly the same lap time, running nose to tail in the 1 minute 11 second bracket there after the restart. You can see Cody Griffin up to 6th, now 5th. So here comes Cody Griffin. Can he catch? He's catching David right now. He's going to catch him there on that short shoot back straightaway. He's got a huge run here. What can he do with that momentum? Is he going to go higher, go low? He goes to the right. So he's going to try and late break into the bus stop here on lap number 36. He's going to get it done. So 4th now. So he's now inside the top 4, and now he's going to chase down Giovanni Ramonte and Kyle Kamer. He wants Kyle Kamer to stay in that second spot because right now Gary Sexton is holding him up. If he can just hang on for a few more laps, he may be able to get the lead.
Yeah, I tell you what, sounds like the 42 of David Wright is going to come down pit road at this point to try to get some brand new rubber to see if he can make up some time here. This is the most unusual pit strategy by the 42 of David Wright. It may work. It may salvage him a top 10.
We have to see. The 42 comes down the pit road, and now the 51's going to duck it down. Here he goes to the inside, and I believe the 17 of Gary Sexton let him go. Oh, he does a crossover going into turn number 1. Sexton back to the lead.
I tell you what, now
Gary Sexton to get back to the lead. I thought he gave up that position, and Kyle Kamer was not going to like that move, and it ended up slowing them both down. So here comes Giovanni Bramante and Cody Griffin.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is some incredible racing here by some of our veteran drivers. This is some of the class of the field up front. We do have Gary Sexton, that number 17. He's probably driving that cross-continent racing, and he's got right behind him a mirror full of the 51 of Kyle Kamer. I think Kyle might have a little bit better tires underneath him. So as these laps wind down, it's going to be really interesting to see who can make the pass and who can end up winning this race, Gabe.
I think Kyle Kamer's just all around faster, but he can't get around that 17. He's doing a good job holding him off. And while they're doing this, Giovanni Bramante slowly closing in. He goes to the inside. Looks like Sexton now is going to move out of the way and let these guys go. He's coming to the pits. So now your top 3 have shown. You've got your 3, you got your pole sitter, your stage 1 winner, and your stage 2 winner. They're 1, 2, 3, and they're half a second apart here with just over 20 laps to go.
Yeah, I tell you what, this is very, very interesting, Gabe, as we knew most of these drivers cannot make it from the restart of stage 3 to the end of the race. So like Gary Sexton, the number 17, he stayed out. He came down after 2 or 3 laps. He's getting 4 brand new Goodyear Eagles. Most all these other front runners, I think, Gabe, are probably going to have to come down pit road for a splash of fuel. That could be one of the smartest moves of the race. We'll just have to wait and see.
Oh, I want to see if we can get a replay up of this lap number 37 for Ray Richard. Excuse me, Mark Jackson, actually. Mark Jackson and Curtis Young tangled on lap 37, just this last lap before, and in the bus stop. Mark Jackson getting into Curtis Young. He ends up spinning out, and Ray Richard gets the worst end of the deal with a blown motor, and the 420 of Russ Coe also gets involved. So 2 blown motors, the 420 and the 44 on the back straightaway.
That will definitely ruin your day. You get any kind of damage in front of these cars, Gabe, as you well know, even here on the road course, that engine gets overheated, it will definitely blow up. We have no fast repairs here, so the guys who has the least damage, the best strategy, that's who's going to win.
Oh, the fence at the top of the S's.
Wow.
Kyle Kamer, a little bit of damage there. Be interesting to see what the damage can do. I just caught that, but the 51 caught the outside or the inside wall at the top of the S's. So he's got a little bit of damage, but looks to be holding okay. But here comes the 89 and the 48 catching him there in the carousel.
I tell you what, it'll be interesting to see, Gabe, if any of these 3 top drivers are going to make a pit stop here. I think with about 20 to go, they're probably got what they came with, and they're probably going to race to the end here, but I could be wrong. It'll be interesting.
21 laps to go when they get to the stripe this time by. Here comes Giovanni Bramante. Has to stop on the binders to keep from hitting the 51 there on turn number 8, and Kyle Kamer knows he's beat. What a defeating feeling. That 51, he goes to the inside, blocks it, but he knows he's got a slower car as the 89 does the switchback to try and get that move done. He can't do it, so he's going to have to hold off for one more corner at least. So here they come through the S's. 51 trying not to hit it again this time. And that's one thing, you want to get through the S's as quick as possible because you have that momentum built up for this back straightaway. But if you hit it wrong, you're going to end up hitting that wall there on the inside. It's just, the car wants to get tight, and Giovanni Bramante hops over the curbs. You've got to watch it if he doesn't want to get a penalty here. But now he's going to catch him. Oh, it's going to get close here. The 51 gets a little bit of damage. Or gets a little bit. Oh, the 51 gets spun. Giovanni Bramante, Cody Griffin through the grass. Giovanni Bramante spins the 51 in the carousel, and that's going to allow Cody Griffin to drive away with it.
I tell you what, that was just very, very incidental contact. Right in the corner, these guys are on the edge of control every single lap. It looks like the 51 slowed down a tad. He comes back down to block a tad, and Gio is right there. And it just spins him around. Unfortunate. And the 48 is the beneficiary. 51 just get it going again. But he will drop 2 or 3 positions here.
He ends up dropping back to the 3rd spot. So he's going to sit there now under fire from Jack Watts. But I think he's going to pull away from him with some unnecessary aggressive driving from Giovanni Bramante. He had to do it. He ends up resulting in contact because he was racing hard for that lead. Because he knows Cody Griffin's right behind him. I completely understand it. It's unfortunate that 51 did get taken out, but we still got a race going on because Gio's got a fast car. He was able to actually pull away from Cody Griffin. He's now reeling him in.
Yes, sir. And we'll look back a little bit. In 4th position, we have Jack Watts. He's in that pad, people against distracted driving, Southeast Motorsports Chevrolet Camaro. Jack has started in 8th. He's up to the 4th position. We got some other guys moving up forward. We got Curtis Young, our good friend. He started 7th. He's up to 5th right now. Behind him, we have Hillary Queen, better known as Jay Queen. He started 11th. He's all the way up to 6th. He is in that Impact Mustang GT. He's had a lot of bad luck this year. He only races every other Thursday night, so it's great to see Jay Queen up in the top 10. Behind him, we got another good friend, Judd Danielson. He's in the Domino's TYJ Racing Chevrolet Camaro. He started 17th, Gabe. He's up to 7th. And yes, sir, we do have Gary Weston started 30th. He's all the way up to 4th. He's got a little bit of damage on number 14.
That's an understatement.
Yes, sir. Chevrolet Camaro. But for the most part, he's keeping on the track. He's in the top 10. Behind him, we do have, looks like, Mark Jackson is up to 9th position, started 12th. And in 10th, we have got Gary Sexton. He did that pit stop earlier. It's going to be interesting to see if that pit stop at the beginning of this stage will pay off, get him a top 10 finish, maybe a top 5.
Front racing stabilizing, but Kyle Kamer, he's got to be driving with a vengeance. He's got time to catch him. He caught him by over half a second that last lap. So Kyle Kamer is coming. He's got the car to do it. He's got a little bit of damage, but no worse for wear on that 51 machine. He's going to be coming up through the field.
Yes, sir. Kyle was definitely thinking the number 89, the number 89, the number 89. I'm coming after you. And he's going to do everything he can do to get to him. It's going to be really interesting to see the 89 of Gio Bramante in 2nd position. He's going to run right now, looks like around the outside of a lap car.
Kyle Kamer actually coming to the pits. Yeah, I just wanted to go check up on him and get a word from his team. He ends up coming to pit road.
Yes, sir. This looks like we do have the leader is still Cody Griffin. He's got a sizable lead, Gabe. Looks like about 25 car lengths in that 48. He does have the new crew chief on the box, like you just said. I think it's Russell Dorsett. He was just added this week as a spotter and crew chief. So I tell you what, sometimes a change in the middle of the season can make a big difference. Right now, Cody Griffin is dominating this race. It'll be interesting to see if Giovanni Bramante goes about 5, 10, maybe 20 car lengths back, can make a move here as the tires do wear out.
Oh, Cody Griffin has absolutely pulled away from Giovanni Bramante because it has now grown from 1.5 seconds to 2.5 in the matter of 1 lap. So Giovanni Bramante had to lose it at some point. But we're going to close in here on 15 laps to go, Robert. This is the longest that they've ever gone on a run, so you may see some different things happen with these tires. They might not lose any speed, but they'll start to act just a little bit different. If you start heating them up, go through a heat cycle, I mean, you never know. And actually, Gio's actually caught him now by 3/10 that lap. So here comes Gio. He's got time to catch him.
Yes, sir, Gabe. And all these drivers know how many laps they got in the last stage. And like I was just mentioning, Gary Sexton, that number 17 car, he made that pit stop after about the third lap of stage 3. And he had definitely just passed Nick Reynolds, who's coming down pit road now. So it looks like Gary Sexton is on the move. He's going to move himself up to the 8th position. And I tell you what, fresh tires for late in this run could be all the difference. It's going to be really interesting to see what kind of pit strategy does win this race.
Tell you what, Robert, while we got a second, let's go ahead and go through the field. Cody Griffin in that lead, almost. Got to watch it. I saw him almost get loose there on the exit with the grass, and he ends up getting on the exit with the grass as well. But the entrance, he almost locked it up there on the soft grass there, but ends up keeping it under control. Giovanni Bramante in that second spot. So your 2-stage winners out front, and Giovanni Bramante coming down pit road. So they did not have enough fuel to make it. This is actually surprising me that they would choose. Cody Griffin's going to win this race. If Cody Griffin can go the final stage with enough fuel, he's going to win this race by a long shot.
I tell you what, he probably did not expect that. He probably expected Gio to be able to catch him. And I guess Gio's just thinking, as Jay Queen's on pit road now in the number 62 Impact. A lot of guys taking pit stops right now. But I tell you what, I think that you're absolutely right. I think the leader 48 of Cody Griffin, it's his race to lose. Unless we were wrong on our fuel mileage predictions up here in the booth, it definitely looks like Cody Griffin has got this race won. Although you never know what's going to happen. Gary Sexton at 17.
Cody Griffin's coming in this time by, Robert.
I tell you what, these tires must make a big difference. And is that going to lead?
He doesn't have enough fuel. He's right there. I heard at the tail end of the conversation. As looks like the 67 of Martin McFadden spinning off into the kitty litter in turn number 7. But Cody Griffin, he came over the radio saying, I'm right there at it on fuel, which in iRacing terms means I'm short, because you're going to run out. Especially here at the road course, you cannot coast your way halfway through a lap. So Cody Griffin, as soon as Russell Dorsett heard that, he said, come to pit road now, immediately. So he gets Cody Griffin on pit road, and that's going to inherit the lead to Curtis Young in at number 94.
Yeah, it looks like Cody Griffin, left side tires going up. He's getting 2 left side Goodyear Eagles. It looks like he's getting 2 right side Goodyear Eagles. So he's getting 4 brand new tires in the 48 of Cody Griffin. Just enough fuel to get to the end, but he's going to lose many, many spots here. And I tell you what, Gabe, this is even surprising me. Is that going to make the move of Gary Sexton the smartest move? And does Curtis Young and Judd Danielson, who are now running 2nd and 3rd, actually 1st and 2nd, are they going to have enough fuel?
If Cody Griffin was on the edge, if these guys can save enough fuel, I don't know. At the road course, you have a little bit of leeway with how much you can let off early, but I'm not so sure. But yeah, this is actually surprising me. To get a gap, I would have actually taken no tires. You know, we've seen zero wear on these tires. Looks like Giovanni Bramante actually going to settle in 3rd out of the drivers on that have pitted.
Yeah, I tell you what,
no tires, Robert.
I sure would have too. I thought for sure he'd get a quick splash, maybe 2 seconds of fuel, 2.5 or 3, and I thought that would have been it, and he'd have been back out on the track. But I tell you what, maybe he needs those 4 tires. And like you just said, Gio Bramante came down pit road earlier and got 4 fresh tires. So the real question now, Gabe, and who knows? Curtis Young is leading. Judd Danielson, the 85, is in 2nd. Cody Griffin.
Looks like he's under pressure now from Cody Griffin.
Yes, sir, it does absolutely look like that. So he's 18 seconds, 17 seconds back. Can Curtis Young stretch out this fuel? I would be shocked if he can after everybody else is coming down pit road, but you never know. I tell you what, Curtis won a race last year, Gabe, by stretching the fuel on 1 pit stop on a 45 lap race. So Curtis might have what it takes here, and he's not giving away any secrets at all, fans.
I'm hearing from Curtis Young. I just went and checked and asked him. It was a 1-word answer. No, I can't make it.
I just noticed Curtis got loose there in the corner. It looks like he's coming to pit road. Not this time, maybe next time by.
Yeah, Curtis waiting to... Unfortunate. I don't know what he's waiting on. Maybe a caution. Maybe, but caution's not going to come out for Curtis Young. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's going to try and make it. I'm not sure, but he just gave me a flat 1-word answer. No, I can't make it. Curtis Young in the catbird seat right now, and Gary Sexton closing in He's actually gotten passed by Giovanni Bramante, so Bramante moves up to the second position on new tires and full tank of fuel. He's going to move up into that 4th spot.
I tell you what, Gabe, maybe what Curtis is thinking about doing is stretching it as far as he can go, try to keep his lead as big as he can, come in for just that 2-second splash like we thought Cody Griffin in the 48 would take, and be off the pit road early, and hopefully be able to hold off these guys. But I don't know. I tell you what, Gabe, we know the...
Actually, that may be a viable thing. Just take a quick splash of fuel and get out. I mean, he could walk away with maybe a top 5.
I tell you what is going to be very interesting.
I mean, that wouldn't be too bad for Curtis yet because he's been running outside the top 15 all race. So right now he's guaranteed a better finish than he should have been.
I tell you what, right now we're going to welcome into the booth a good friend here, Ray Richer. I think, Ray, your night is done early. We got some unbelievably exciting action up front. We got pit strategy, guys pitting before we thought they would. Curtis Young is out there right now with the lead. He's got about a 16-second lead, Ray, but I don't know. He says he's got to pit one more time. What do you think Curtis is doing, Ray?
Well, I think he's trying to stretch that out as far as he can on fuel there, Robert. Gabe, also, my opinion, I've been watching Judd Danielson. He was up with me there for quite a while. I thought he'd have enough fuel to go to the end, but obviously I don't believe that's the case right now because I don't even see him in the top 10 at this. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I do see him in 4th right now. So he got passed by Gio and Cody, who I think have already pitted at this session at this point in the race.
Yes, they have, and I asked Curtis just a second ago while we were under green, just maybe lap 47, a one-word answer. No, I can't make it. Looks like we got one car spinning in the bus stop. It's Nick Reynolds in the 17, or in the 10 car in the 17th spot. So Nick Reynolds off at the bus stop. But Ray, yeah, it looks like Curtis is trying. Robert brought a very good point. He's going to run this thing out to where, the very last drop of fuel, come down pit road and take a splash. Just 2 seconds of fuel and get out, and maybe try and salvage a top 5.
Got a great battle coming out of the last turn with Judd Danielson and Gary Sexton side by side. Gary actually taps the wall coming out of the last turn, just enough to make it ahead of Judd. Judd almost had him 2 turns ago, but down to the first turn they go. Judd will take and try it again.
And that's also going to put Kyle Kamer there into the top 5. Kyle Kamer got taken out earlier. Giovanni Bramante, a little bit of contact with them. It was barely enough to send that 51 around, and that actually was the reason Cody Griffin got the lead. He's now closing in on Gary Sexton, so he still has a hope of getting a top 3 spot.
I'll tell you, in the long run, fellas, this track really started to loosen up. I mean, we only did 15 lap runs, but the front end wanted to push, so it tightened up just a bit, and if you got on the throttle way too late, it just wanted to take and spin the rear tires, so you had to be real careful with it. Of course, the tire wear here isn't too bad. I mean, it was only 96% on the right front and the left front throughout the whole thing. Looking back at the pit spot right now, still a good challenge between the 17 of Gary Sexton and the 51 of Kyle Kamer. Kyle's right there. He's looking for that top 3, at least to get the 4th spot, so he has a chance towards the end.
Got a black flag on Nick Reynolds in the 10. Robert, you want an explanation on that?
Yeah, Nick had a contact a couple of different times. That's about the 2nd or 3rd time that he's had contact with another driver. So he definitely had contact, and he's definitely serving a penalty.
Oh, Roger, I hadn't been keeping track of that. Good admitting, Robert. Just want to make sure they just want to get the ruling on that black flag. But Cody Griffin closing in on Curtis Young, 13 seconds now. As Cody's actually going to get held up by Chad Payne just a little bit. Chad goes wide through the bus stop, allowing the number 48 to go by. That Coors Light number 9 machine is actually now going to get passed by Donald Stewart. Giovanni Bramante makes a diving move to the inside. That 89 gets by. And is also going to let Gary Sexton, actually Gary Sexton is a long way back, but Giovanni Bramante all by himself. 2 seconds is the gap between those two. So it's starting to close down here, Robert. But I think Cody Griffin's got this in the bag.
I tell you what, yeah, go ahead there, Ray. If Curtis has got a pit, I think he's waited too late to pit here at this time. Ray, what are you thinking?
Yeah, at this point in time, I agree with you, Robert. Curtis should have pitted a long time ago. Actually, he's actually knocking off a couple seconds. Cody is in the 48 anyway. He's knocking off a couple seconds every lap. He's 11 seconds back behind Curtis right now. But keep in mind, 11 seconds isn't all that much here at Watkins Glen because like Curtis's tires are older, and Cody's got the fuel and the tires to make it to the end, so he's going to knock off another 2 seconds, and if he keeps going, of course, by the time Curtis pits, he's going to take it to first spot. Now, going back to the 89 of Giovanni, he's around, he's 4 seconds back behind Cody, and he's still closing. He seems to be taking those turns pretty tight. Seems to be catching up pretty quick. We'll see what happens. At least, I'm going to say within 5 laps, he's going to have a shot at him here going for first.
Oh, a heartbreaker on the 94. He's close to making it. Apparently, he's close enough to where he could try to make it. It looks like, oh, we got a car spinning coming off. I'll go back to that. Turn number 8. Got a car nosing first into the inside barrier. It's Mark McFadden in the 67. Came off of turn number 8. Ended up spinning around. That's about the second or third time he's self-spun today. Just can't get a hold of it. We heard Ray Richards saying it's getting loose. So it's like Mark McFadden not able to get a hold of it. He's actually going to pull off the racetrack because he could not get turned back around. But back to Curtis Young. His clutch pedal isn't working, so he has no option to save fuel. So unfortunate for Curtis Young. He's close to making it, but he can't save enough.
You know, looking at that, Cody Griffin still, like I've talked about last time. Of course, I was saying about loosening up. Now, keep one thing in mind. These cautions here, of course, are only local cautions. So as the car spun with the Mark McFadden there, the 67, it only cautioned that one corner. The race continues on, obviously. Cody right now, last lap, 9.132 as he crosses start-finish line between him and Curtis. Of course, again, you can shift these cars without a clutch here. You just got to be real careful with the RPMs. Now, earlier, Chad Payne was one of those victims of over-revving the motor going down the back chute, and he blew it up because he'd shifted a little too soon. As Curtis hits the line right now, we'll watch for Cody. Cody will hit the line here in a second, coming off the last turn, turn 8. He'll go high down the front stretch, coming to the line. We'll see how much he's chopped out of that lead. Oh, actually, Curtis has gained 10.056, so another second added on to Curtis's run if he can make it to the end.
But, Ray, I'm actually referring to the fact that Curtis can't engage the clutch on the straightaway to save a little bit of fuel, get the revs down, and end up making it. He's close. He's been shifting. You know, he hasn't been using the clutch, but he doesn't have the option to use it to save a little bit of fuel. Giovanni Bramante wrecks at the top of the S's. Oh my gosh!
Stuck in the wall, and tow truck will get him out of there.
The 89 noses it. He got loose at the top of the S's, ran over the curbs, and the 89 nose first into the outside wall, stuck into it with 7 laps to go.
With that being said, with Curtis, highly agree, but I exactly understand what you mean. When he pushes in the clutch, tries to save it, lowers those revs a little bit. He's able to shut the motor off, though, in gear, or even pull it out of gear if he can match the RPMs to put it back in. But again, that is an option. If he can do it, he'll be able to save a little bit of fuel. He'll be onto the stripe, heading down to turn 1 this time. Seeing what we got here, of course, again, Cody Griffin right behind him in chase. Cody coming off that last corner down to the stripe. Will actually, we'll minus 2 seconds off of that lead. 8.958 behind Curtis Young going into the first turn.
And when will Curtis pit? Because I've heard the dejection in his voice. He has no option to make it. So unfortunately for him and Cody Griffin, I mean, barring an act of God, that number 48 is going to walk away with the victory. Kyle Kamer now up into third and will be second if that number 94 has to pit.
I think what I'd do if I was Curtis, I'd run this thing as far as it would go. Of course, he's keeping an eye on those little laps ticking down on his fuel gauge. Also, with iRacing here, we're able to see how many laps average of what it's guessing is inside the tank. It'll tell you laps, it'll tell you percentage of what's left in gallons as well. Well, if you think about it right now, say he's got 3 laps in the tank. No way, absolutely not. He's got 5 laps to go, won't make it no matter what. If it was 5 laps, if he was real easy on the throttle, he might be able to make it. But keep in mind, he's also got an almost 9-second gap between second place and him, and he's got to keep that as far as he can go.
Yeah, I tell you what, Red, this is definitely coming down to exciting strategy like we had predicted for our first road course race of 2017. It does look like Curtis is trying to save a little bit of fuel. He's got 8 seconds, almost 7 seconds up on the second place of Cody Griffin. So Curtis, I think, has laid his bed. He's got to probably race this race out to the end and hope he has enough to stay ahead of the 48.
Curtis is coming this time, either that or the next time. He's got about 2 laps left.
Yeah, he doesn't have enough. Lap 56 right now. We got 4 laps to go, guys. It's just not enough. He's definitely going to pit, obviously. And Cody Griffin's going to have a heck of a chance of this. All he has to do is get through the course 4 more times, which is actually, let me think here, 32 more turns.
Oh, Ray Richard doing math. Somebody hit record.
Yeah, that good New York math stuck with me at least a little bit, guys. an eye on him right now?
Here's another question, guys. Could Cody be coming close to being short on fuel or not? Because he's not picking up the pace much. Looks like he might be saving the tad himself.
Well, Cody pitted with the rest of the field, so I think he's good on fuel. He has to be.
I don't know, Curtis.
Because with about, he was one of the last drivers in the lead to pit.
Yeah, Curtis stayed out there. He's still got an almost 8-second lead here, and we're down to 3 laps to go. 6.5, yeah.
Yeah, so Curtis is probably going to come to pit road this time by, unless he's been fooling us, which I don't believe he'd do it, because I can hear the dejection in his voice, because he's so close to a victory. If he could use that clutch to save it. Oh, and Cody Griffin's blown up!
He must have downshifted just too quick, guys. I mean, that does happen. Cody seems to be under motion. Hang on. What's going on, bud?
No, Cody Griffin has just blown the engine on that 48.
He must have downshifted so quick. Like I said earlier about Chad Payne, you shift a little too quick, turned about 9,500 RPMs and beyond. These motors just want to let loose.
Oh,
Cody,
my
unfortunately,
gosh!
very unfortunate end of the night.
What a finish to this race. Kyle Kamer's just been gifted this victory.
No kidding. Curtis Young still coming into turn 7 right now, heading towards turn 8, taking a little wide. We're going to keep an eye on him, see if he pits this time. Still wide enough not to pit. Coming in now. He doesn't have enough time before Kyle makes it back to the start-finish line. Kyle coming down to turn 7 right now, as Curtis Young has got to be painfully in that driver's seat right now on pit lane there, Gabe.
Kyle Kamer blew that engine at the top of the S's. I don't know what happened either. I mean, unless he had damage from an incident, I don't know.
We're going to find out for sure when the race is over, but right now it is Curtis Young on pit road, Kyle Kamer is going to inherit that lead, and also we're going to have behind him Gary Sexton. He is a good 15 seconds, maybe 13 seconds back, but this race is not over yet, Ray.
No, sir, I'll tell you right now. I'm actually kind of looking back at the replay of what happened with Cody Griffin, and I just don't see it. I don't understand it. Like, I agree with Gabe. There must have been some damage on the car or something, or there's something on the grill. It just stopped.
I just talked to Cody Griffin and his crew chief, Russell Dorsett. That it looks like the temperatures were fine. He had no damage on the front end of that number 48 machine, and he went to shift to fourth, and as soon as he did, the engine popped.
Wow, what a heartbreak. And I tell you what, looks like Kyle might have the win here, although you never can tell. Anything can happen in these last couple of laps.
Well, I mean, we've proved that in the last minute and a half. Cody Griffin ends up, what a heartbreak for Cody Griffin. Led basically the entire second half of this race, had the win in hand, Giovanni Bramante. We had our top 2 racers get taken out in the final 10 laps. Guys, this has been one amazing and wild, wacky finish.
It looks like Curtis actually had enough time to short pit and get back out on the track to be scored a second place, but Gary Sexton right behind him in chase, only 3 seconds back, actually has plenty of time to catch him. 2 laps to go in this race, guys.
Yep, so that's going to be the finisher we're going to have to watch for. Gary Sexton just ran a 1:11.83, so he's lost a little bit of time compared to the leaders. He's 8 seconds behind. Can he catch him in the final 2 laps? We're going to come to the white flag this time by Kyle Kamer. Has been given this victory, but he sure has earned it. But he's got about 13 or 14 more corners till victory.
Yeah, I tell you what, we got Eric Stanford in the 4th position now. He started back in 13th. Just to go back to the top 10 here before we get to the end of the race. Jack Watt started 8th. He's up to 5th. Ellery Queen, Jay Queen's going to have, looks like, a top 10 finish, maybe a top 5 if he can keep it going here. We've also got Judd Danielson started 17th. Lost a position or 2. He's still up to 7th. Cody Griffin, even with that late pit stop, actually, he's going a lap down now. Josh Bonwell is probably going to come out here with the top 10, as well as Mark Jackson will probably get a top 10. Maybe even William E. Moore. You take the final laps, guys.
White flag in the air for Kyle Kamer. He started on the pole and is yet to win a segment. Segment 1 went to Giovanni Bramante after Kyle Kamer pitted. Segment 2 went to Cody Griffin, who led the whole thing. Cody Griffin just blew his engine 3 laps ago, and Kyle Kamer now only 4 or 5 more corners away from his victory here at Watkins Glen. 240 kilometers, and it's come down to this. Curtis Young in second, able to hang on. Looks like Gary Sexton has caught him, but it's not going to be enough. Kyle Kamer coming through the carousel one more time. taking it easy on the gas, down to the short chute. 2 more corners to go, Ray. It's going to be a colossal victory if he can hang on to it. The 300-meter board breaks down to second. Kyle Kamer's got 1 more corner to go, about 300 feet from victory. Now down to turn number 8. One more time. Coming off of turn number 8, it's Watkins Glen. It's going to go to Kyle Kamer in the 51. 240 kilometers, and Kyle Kamer takes it all.
Congratulations to Kyle Kamer, the winner of tonight's 240K trailer trash run. Curtis Young, though, give a little kudos to him. I'll tell you, he did a crazy job of getting it up there in first, holding it for quite a while, and then obviously short pitting to keep into second place. I still think that's very impressive for a great run.
And where did Gary Sexton come from? Didn't talk about him. He led a few laps at the beginning of this segment when he started in the lead, but how about it? He hangs on for a podium spot.
Throw out one more name there, one of our biggest movers of the night, Eric Stanford. Started 13th, ended up 4th this evening in the 24 machine. Did a great job of just kind of keeping those nose clean, keeping every lap consistent, just able to take the top 5 this evening.
Let's tell you what, let's take one quick commercial break. We're going to get everything sorted out, get your results, and we're going to be back with your winner of Kyle Kamer at Watkins Glen International. We'll be right back here on Domino's TYJ Premier Xfinity Series here on All Pro Broadcasting. Back here live at Watkins Glen International, the conclusion of 60 laps, and Kyle Kamer is in turn 1, burning it down in that number 51 machine. He got it done, and we're going to move to victory lane here. But first, we're going to talk to your top 3, and I believe Ray Richer has caught up with the number 17 and Gary Sexton.
Gary, good evening. Ray here. What a race tonight, bud. You brought it home for a podium finish. How do you feel?
Exhausted, man. That was a long but really fun race. Love these road courses, but yeah, I'm pretty tired.
You know, I know they only make these 90 laps in the real deal with the high-end guys, but you kind of realize what it's all about when you run even 60 laps here. It's just amazing you made it through this far and get a great finish. You bring us through the last couple laps of this race, bud.
Yeah, man, I had a strategy that I was going to stick to from the beginning of the race. I think it worked for the most part. If I could keep up with Kyle and those guys, I think I would have been good. I elected to not take tires on my last stop, so I ran, I don't know, the last 45 laps on the same set of tires. I think that maybe in hindsight I could have went back, looking at how far ahead of the guys behind me I was, and took some tires, and then maybe it could have held off Kyle there for a little bit longer, and maybe salvage a second or even a first. But overall, really good race tonight, and another good points day. I should stay the points leader.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job this evening, bud. Anybody you want to thank while you're here?
Yeah, thank All Pro Broadcasting, Domino's, Robert, all you guys up in the booth, the carousel of awesome talent up there. Thank my team, Cross Continent Racing, Joe Johnson and Will Davis. Thank my family, everybody that tunes in and watches. Anyone that votes for me for the pizza, I promise I'll win you one of these soon. If not, hopefully a championship this year. So, yeah.
You know, he's talking to you, Gabe, Robert, and Mike there. Congratulations, Gary, bringing it home, 3rd place this evening.
Thanks, guys.
Now we're going to move on to your second spot. He brought it home in second. Curtis Young is caught up with our Robert McFarland.
How you doing, Curtis? Congratulations. I tell you what, You won this race last year, doing one pit stop on 45 laps. I was pretty much convinced you were going to do the same thing tonight. Unfortunately, 60 laps, a little bit longer. You had to make that pit stop, but you did bring it back home second. Curtis, tell us about your race, and could you have saved any more fuel to get the win?
Yeah, I actually wasn't able to save any fuel because, I don't know, something happened with my clutch where it just... Actually, at first my brake was dragging a bit, so I had to... It was a good thing we had, like, competition cautions, I guess, tonight, because I had to unplug my pedals and in the middle of the race shut my engine off to make sure it wasn't going to go crazy everywhere under pace laps. And yeah, my clutch wasn't working when I came back, so I was going to try and save enough to the end, and I think it might have been doable. Last year I was shutting the engine off through the carousel, and I don't know, it would have been 3 laps to save, so maybe not, 2.5 laps actually, but yeah, so I just figured I was going to stay out as long as possible and just make like a 1 to 2 second pit stop at the end for fuel.
Yeah, I tell you what, the strategy came oh so close, Curtis, to winning the race. Coming home second is very good. Again, who would you like to give thanks to for the second place finish, Curtis?
Just everybody watching and yeah, All Pro Broadcasting. That's about it, I guess.
All right, thank you so much, Curtis. We'll definitely talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and hopefully this moves you up in the points a little bit. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks.
Take it away, Gabe. I think you've caught up with the winner down there in Victory Circle.
Down here in Victory Lane with a lot of surprised faces, Kyle Caper, from the agony of defeat, getting spun with about 10 laps to go, to being in Victory Lane. Kyle, how'd you pull it off, and where did you get that lucky 4-leaf clover?
Woo! Yeah, man, it feels so good. I needed a win to get into the chase here because we didn't get picked up until halfway into the season, and I thought that chance had just slipped away, and man, I just got back on the wheel and drove my face off there.
I'll tell you what, Kyle, you did get it done. We were noticing there toward the end, you had caught, after you had wrecked, or after you had gotten wrecked, you were kind of catching back Gio and Cody. But then after pit stops, after we kind of cycled through, you had lost them again. Was the car just not acting right?
No, I had a lot of traffic to deal with, and I think, I took 4 tires on that stop. I'm not sure if they did or not, but if they went the 0-tire route, then that would have created that big gap.
Understandable, Kyle. Now, I mean, you started on pole. You didn't win segment 1. You didn't win segment 2. You did pull off a good strategy, pitting early in segment 1. At any point, did you think you had the winning car there in the early stages? I know you ended up, almost getting taken out, but did you think you had the car to win, between Cody and Gio?
I knew that Cody and Gio and William were all really fast, and I thought it would come down to one of the 4 of us. I felt really good going through that first segment, leading all those laps. I think being out front was definitely key. And then, different pit strategies kind of cycled me back in the field a little bit. And, a couple guys, I just got held up. It took too long to get around them, and it let the 48 and the 89 get away from me.
All right, Cody, well, congratulations on your victory. Anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank All Pro Broadcasting for covering our events, Domino's TYJ for putting this on, Robert, Gabe, Michael D'Amico, all the guys at Domino's TYJ who put this together every week. Love it. Have a blast. And then all of my sponsors, Interstate Batteries and All Battery Center in Sandusky, Ohio, and in Concord, North Carolina, and Box Crush in Indianapolis. And then tonight we were driving for Old Camp Whiskey.
Congratulations, Cody. I know they like seeing you in Victory Lane here at Watkins Glen. Congratulations. And I'm going to throw it up to Ray for one final thought.
Been an exciting race, fellas. A lot of strategy. I know I say that about every race, but keep in mind this is something a little bit different tonight. A lot of right and left-hand turns, but also segments. Segments kind of mixed up the field, kind of packed them back up, didn't straighten it out, or spread it out as far as they usually do. I'll tell you what, loved every minute of it with the exception of, when it ended my night, unfortunately. It does happen. It's part of road course racing. and it was worth every inch I had on the track. Guys had a great time tonight all the way up to that point on the track, but off the track had a better time calling it. Up to you, Gabe. What's your thoughts, bud?
Oh, I always love calling road courses. I do the Skip Barber series just a couple of times a year for Race Spot. It's always fun just seeing guys out of their element, turning left, turning right, and see who can come to the top. We see Gio Bramante be fast on the speedways, on the short tracks especially, but then you get him in really his route where he was trying to get, maybe to an open wheel career or something, but ends up going to the late model division. He was a go-kart racer. He was great in go-karts. He almost walked away with a victory here tonight if it hadn't been, for a couple of unfortunate events. But you see him, you see Kyle Kamer and Curtis Young, he was toward the back the entire race, and then you see him, he's up here in second. So it's just a real crazy race. It's almost, like a Talladega or Daytona.
Yeah, if you keep in mind, too, the pit strategies obviously came into play with the whole thing, of course, towards the end with Curtis Young. But Curtis, again, low pat in the back, buddy. He took off a second place. I was real impressed. Robert, your thoughts, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thanks for both you guys helping out. I do have a free pizza winner. This is back-to-back nights. Free pizza winner. This time it is Tyler King. He is from Avon Park, Florida. He normally follows the Gerald Campbell number 6. Obviously, he did not pick him. He decided to pick the number 51. So he did an awesome job. He's super excited. He does not have talking on the phone privileges right now, but he is definitely going to win that free Domino's 3-topping large pizza. So Domino's TYJ, they're going to be sending out not one, but 2 free pizzas this weekend. So fans, thanks for joining. Continue to watch. Continue to click that subscribe button on All Pro Broadcasting. That way you get the alerts for all of our races. We do have our next to last dirt race, Renegade Dirt Series, this coming Sunday night, 8:50 p.m. Eastern. Fans, you do not want to miss that. We got a super hot driver, and Derek Walker has won the last 5 races in a row, but he does not necessarily have the championship wrapped up. More importantly, you get a chance to win that free pizza. Ray, thanks for jumping over the booth. Thank you so much, Gabe. I'll let you close it out.
It's been one heck of a race. I mean, we went from seeing a driver leading by almost 10 or 15 seconds to him blowing the engine with 3 laps to go. I mean, you can't end a night any better than that. I want to thank everybody for watching here tonight. For Ray Richer, Robert McFarland, Kyle Kamer is your winner, and Michael D'Amico brought it all to us here in the production holler. I want to thank all of you for watching here in the Trailer Trash 420 240K here at Watkins Glen International. Good night, and we'll see you back Wednesday for the Truck Series.
Smithley, driver the number 0, JD Motorsports Chevrolet, and you're watching All Pro Broadcasting.